Oh, good evening, my gentlemen roaches and lady roaches out there. How are you? Welcome to the very first ever Roachie Awards. I'm so thankful for all of you who have been enjoying the show through 2021. I am so thankful that you've kept it going. You are the reason that it continues into 2022 and that it will be getting even better in 2022. So I thank you so much for joining me throughout the year, and this will be a celebration of that year. And I came into it, I thought, you know, it's an award show, maybe I should wear a suit, something like that, but I put on the suit and I was like, nah, I can't. I would have looked like such a phony. I look like I belong on Jeff Dunham's lap when I wear a suit. Perhaps that would have been enjoyable for some, but I just did not feel like myself, and I did not feel like the true Roach that I am, and I thought it would be bad to celebrate what a wonderful year with all of these awards. I also want to say thank you to Kirsten for curating all of the awards, the nominees, things like that, all of them, putting together the footage of all of the nominees. Thank you for doing such a diligent job, and we will continue to do more things here in 2022. Real quick though, in 2022, I do want to let you know if you want to come see me, and I'm thankful, by the way, not only if you've watched this show, but also if you've come up to me during a time, perhaps you've seen me live, maybe you've seen me out and about, maybe you've seen me in a hotel bar, wherever you've spotted this Roach and come up and admitted that you are one as well. I thank you so much, and there will be more opportunities in 2022, including on January 23rd, Milwaukee Improv. On the 30th of January, I will be at West Nyack Levity Live. On the 2nd of February, I will be at the Pittsburgh Improv. And the 3rd of February, the Raleigh Improv. And we'll have more announced on the way by way of cities like Philly. We'll have Indy, hopefully, Portland, Seattle, these places. There's so many that perhaps I will be coming. If I didn't even list it, it's not because I'm not coming there. It's because I can't even remember all the pending offers. So once those are announced, I can't wait for 2022. But before we get to 2022, it is all about 2021 and the most wonderful moments of 2021 here on the Josh Potter Show inside of the Roach Motel. It is the Roachies, ladies and gentlemen. And, just like every other award show, there are some awards that we just don't have time on the broadcast to present. And there was a winner prior to the broadcast in the pre-broadcast that wasn't televised. And that is winner for the Roachie of Best Remix. And that goes to our friend Track Numbers. Congratulations, sir. Here is a sample of his work, one of his remixes right now, the sports remix from Track Numbers, the award winner of the Roachie for Best Remix. Beep, 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 beep. That is not the remix, that is the original sound. It wouldn't be the Roachies without a mistake right out of the gate, but here we are.
I know Mike Vick had that thing with the dogs and shit.
So congratulations to Odd Track Numbers, who won our first Roachie Award in the pre-broadcast of the awards ceremony. But now here we are. Our first award on the televised broadcast of the Roachies is Best Sports Story. And here, my friends, in the nominees are so many different types of things. I mean, we have men grinding on co-eds, perhaps a story in the news, or in the sports, excuse me. We have not only men grinding on co-eds, we have men letting other men grind on their wives. And then we have men who want to grind on a particular athlete's mother. Here are the nominees for Best Sports Story for the Roachies. From episode 15, Mr. Unlimited. And here's a person who you might want to heed warning about when it comes to both Ennie and I bringing this topic, Cecil Wilson, because we've been talking about him quite a bit over the last few weeks, since the beginning of this show, since Ennie has deemed him in fact, sus after just looking at simply his face. So many things are starting to come out about Cecil Wilson, almost in the vein of Garth. He's just always tweeting about the Lord. It's just very odd. And recently, he posted this video to TikTok. Let's give it a listen.
Russell here. Yes, the typical boring, yes, Russell, the robot Russell, the one you guys love to know. Real exciting. You know, I'm real exciting. But anyways, everybody has to have an alter ego, right? And I've been thinking about what my alter ego would be. And I think I have an alter ego. His name's Mr. Unlimited.
What the is going on? From episode 43, Ben Zobrist. And in this case, this is about a messy divorce that fucked a man's head up so bad that it ruined his profession, essentially. And that's something that we can see happen to the guy who works at fucking Papa John's, to the guy who works at fucking Goldman Sachs. I mean, this shit is a tale as old as time. It just so has happened to the fucking 2015 fucking World Series MVP Ben Zobrist. That's all. So his wife her name is Juliana. She's a real see you next Tuesday. I mean, holy hell, this lady. They're in a big fucking battle right now because you see they're estranged and everything like that. They're going through a big legal battle, and Juliana is blaming Mr. Zobrist, Ben, former Chicago Cubs utility man, guilty of failing to preserve marital assets. What does that sound like? Yeah, cash. That's because he took a leave of absence from the team back in May 2019. Why do you think he took that leave of absence? Was it because he just didn't feel like playing anymore? No, it was because his fucking wife was getting dicked down by a pastor, of all people. Dicked down. From episode 45, Destroying Terry Pagula. And he said if government officials are not willing to provide this taxpayer money, then there are plenty of cities in the United States that would love to have an NFL team. One of such cities has been floated out from a secret source in the ownership group that said Austin would be the city. So that means you're moving to Austin, Sean's moving to Austin, the fucking Buffalo Bills are moving to Austin. If that happens, folks, I will crawl to the top of that tower where that Marine shot a bunch of people, and I will throw myself off of it. I swear to God.
Why don't you just move to Texas with us, bro?
No.
Come to Austin.
I can't do it.
We want you.
I can't go.
We love you.
I'm telling you right now, Terry Pagula, I will abandon all of the successes that I have in life. I will dedicate every ounce of time that I can muster up and the strength that I can muster up to destroying you. I know it doesn't sound like much, this little guy on this podcast, but I will become like V for Vendetta. I will fucking ruin your life. At the very least, you'll be thinking about me constantly. And if you want to report me YouTube or whatever for a veiled threat, go for it.
Oh shit. Things work differently around these fucking
Go
parts.
for it, YouTube. Don't you fuck with my bills, Terry Pagula. I swear to God. From episode 54, Urban Meyer grinding. And this isn't something that I would normally take umbrage with. As a matter of fact, I don't really take umbrage with it. People are like, oh, Urban Meyer. The holier than thou thing is what makes me take umbrage with it, because he's so pious and he has these attitudes about certain things and he acts a certain way. For him to do this is hilarious to me, especially because he's Urban Meyer. Of course, everyone's got their phones out around you. This is something that if one of his players had done, he would be like, how dumb can you be? Everyone's got a phone out there. You're going to get recorded. But he did it, and I don't even think what he did was that bad. He didn't look like he was cheating on his wife. He had his hand. It looked like he was almost blocking for a second the grinding with his hand. Like he was like, if I just put my hand here, that means it's blocking my penis from being near the grind. Therefore, I have a defense. Your Honor, my hand was blocking the grind. It was not making contact with my penis. How that holds up in the court of Shelley Meyer, I do not know. From episode 46, Zach Wilson hates his mom's Instagram. Zach Wilson's getting quite annoyed. And, judging from some training camp footage I've been seeing, he's not exactly wowing people unless you're a New York Jet. The New York Jets are up his ass. They're like, look at this play. They're putting things on they're like putting highlights on their Twitter where it's like, that would have been a sack if this was real football. He's throwing up wobbly spirals to fucking Corey Davis. Good luck. I'm just saying, have fun with that. We'll see what happens. So that's all going on. Meanwhile, he has to field questions, every question. Hey, your hot mom. Hey, look at the tits on your mom. You know what I mean? Like, he's got to deal with all this. And this poor Mormon boy, he's decided he is going to try and pay his mother to leave Instagram. Now, if you're his mom, wouldn't you just go, honey, that's okay. I know I'm causing you some mental strife. I'll just get off Instagram. You don't have to pay me to get off Instagram. Nope, not Zach Wilson's Mormon mom. These religious people, I'll tell you. You know what they love more than the Lord? Monies. And here to present the award for Best Sports Story, you know him from the Honeydew podcast. He's provided Night Pants Studio for us to tape this very program in. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Sickler.
Thanks, Josh. It is a pleasure to be here to give out a Roachie Award. I'm very excited. It's my first time, so what an honor here. And the Roachie for Best Sports Story goes to Mr. Unlimited, Russell Wilson, Mr. Sierra. Congrats, Russ. Congrats.
Yeah, I don't know. What's Mr. Unlimited? Mr. Unlimited. Like, why is he stammering and shit all the time?
That must be like his the street term for whatever drug he's taking. Like, could I get some unlimited?
It is like limitless kind of shit, right? Like,
exactly.
I want that limitless. Give me that. So keep it going. Let's see what else he does here. Or just keep saying that.
Yeah, you got to be unlimited. You got to have a thought process of being unlimited. So when people ask you, what you're thinking about or what you want to do in life or where you want to go, you got to be unlimited. Tell them, I'm unlimited. You know what I mean? So when they ask you certain questions like,
who brings you motivation, Russell?
Mr. Unlimited.
Who's your role model, Russell?
Unlimited.
Who's your go-to person for advice, Russell?
They think Pete Carroll, they think this person, think that person. Love you, Pete, but it's Mr. Unlimited. Tell him.
Ugh. Sussel, who touched you in your no-no place? Mr. Unlimited. I mean, geez Louise. What is he talking about? This is like the weirdest I've ever seen him act. It's like he's getting stranger. Do you know that Sussel has a podcast, Denny?
I did not. What is it called?
I don't remember what it's called.
Is it Mr. Unlimited?
It fucking should be called that. That's for sure. Only thing missing in the background of this is a woman. Mr. Unlimited. I had to bring that up because, I mean, that is just the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm going to call him Mr. Unlimited now forever. But I don't know. I just think, like, how many bodies are in your crawl space there, Sussel? Unlimited. He can answer a lot of different questions that way. He's just such a freaking weirdo. And recently, over the weekend, as you're viewing this, and I know the Buffalo Bills, my favorite football team, they're about to embark in their first playoff game at home in 25 years. By the time you're seeing this, it would have already occurred. So either I'm dead from suicide, from them losing, or I'm dead from celebrating their win. So either way, I've passed at the time you're seeing this. But I wanted to bring up the fact that this past week was week 17 in the NFL, and we saw many teams doing different things. Obviously, the big controversial story was the Washington football team facing the Philadelphia Eagles in primetime. The Eagles conceivably, it seemingly, I should say, tanking, putting Nick Sudfeld in at the end of the game to throw it, essentially, to get 3 draft spots higher. Everyone was up in arms, but so many people were manipulating that 17th game of the season in order to achieve their advantage, whether it be Congratulations. And now it tends to be a bit more on the serious side of things, but we do have to present the Roachie Award for Best News Story. Now in here we have a lot of sex, we have a lot of acts of terrorism, as it were, some of them happening
in Walmart.
And also we have some instances perhaps of
murder.
Let's find out the nominees for Best News Story in the 2021 Roachies. From episode 54, OnlyFans Threesome with God. A Colorado cam mom who previously claimed that God wants her to strip on OnlyFans has now confessed to knowing the Heavenly Father in a biblical sense. Oh, is this her? You found her?
This is Our Lady and her Lord.
There they are, the great couple. At least two of the three. Nina Marie, 45, now says she's experiencing heaven in a sexual trinity with her husband and the Almighty. A sacred and spiritual menage a trois, she called it. Marie, a devout Christian. This is definitely an interesting vertical on OnlyFans. To be a devout Christian OnlyFans whore. Love it. Love it. Especially one who's pretending to fuck Jesus. Marie, a devout Christian and OnlyFans model, acknowledged that the sexual nature of their ecstatic love affair is unrequited as the creator, while supposedly imbued in all of heavens and earth, does not occupy the physical realm. So are they saying they are raping Jesus mentally? I don't understand. Episode 48, Intro to Semen Terrorism. Jefferson Nally, like I said, killing it. He had another story here that I wanted to get to that involves sex. And this is about a sex crime that has just been invented in South Korea. And I'm wondering, will it come here to America? Will it be stateside soon? South Korean politicians want semen terrorism labeled as a sex crime. That is a wild sentence. Semen terrorism. I'm on board, frankly. It sounds a lot more fun than the terrorism that we know. I mean, I know ISIS-K is a new thing out there. Maybe we have some ISIS-J for jizz. Episode 41, 9/11 themed restaurant. If you don't have all the facts, you're probably going to have a negative reaction. Bar 9/11, he explained, actually serves as the lounge area of Tex-Mex restaurant Rio Mambo in the City View area of Fort Worth and got its name nearly 15 years after the tragedy. The establishment's relatively understated interior features a gallery-like wall with 4 picture boards featuring images taken in the aftermath of the attack. Not something I want to go look at when I drink, you know? I'll go watch a sport, even a sport I don't like. I like looking at, sport bars. They often have jerseys hanging on the wall. You can be like, oh, look at that, Dan Marino. Larry Bird. Yeah, look at that, Larry Bird. There's a basketball, maybe a car hood or something like that. This guy's doing like tchotchkes of 9/11. He's got like a fireman helmet. He's got like an axe and shit. It's like Applebee's, but with 9/11 flair. It's fucking wild. From episode 55, Los Gatos Moms Sex Parties. A 47-year-old California mother has been accused of hosting alcohol-fueled sex parties for her 14-year-old son and friends. So far, she sounds pretty cool. No, his kid's fucking 14, for Christ's sake. Though I do wish, at the end of the day, that would fuck me up and make me completely messed up, and I would look back on it very negatively. Obviously, it's a crime. But I don't know that I can't tell you a part of me wouldn't have been thankful for my mother if she would have done that, Shannon O'Connor was charged with 39 criminal counts, 39, including felony child abuse, sexual assault, and providing alcohol to minors, filed by the Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office on Tuesday. According to the statement of facts by the DA investigator, O'Connor secretly arranged parties at her house and rented accommodations where she provided alcohol, condoms to the teens. Well, at least they were being safe. You can do it under my roof. You don't want them doing it out there. That's the old, I know what they're doing under my roof. I don't want them doing it out there. This mom's kind of a babe. Is that her too with the bleach blonde hair? Pull up that one on the bottom left. Yeah, she's kind of a babe. Episode 46, The Juice on the Loose. You know, and this is kind of a sad news story for us here on the Josh Potter Show because J Simpson up there. By the way, Tom Brenneman, if I were to have a list of dream guests, Tom Brenneman is one of the top 3 I've crossed off. The other one, I would say Marshawn Lynch. And then the third one is someone that I don't think we're ever going to get after this story because I don't think he'll ever come in studio, Mr. J Simpson. J Simpson says he won't go to L.A. because he might run into the real murderer. I'm going to make a plea to OJ. Please still come. Please. I mean, he might still be here. You know, he might have also. He might live where you live now. You don't know. He could have moved. Usually, murders don't stick around where they murder people. So maybe he's in Vegas, maybe he lives in Florida, or maybe he's following you wherever you go. Maybe he lives where you live, knowing that's the safest place to be. I'm just trying to make a plea to OJ. Come to LA again. We want to have you back. And here to present the Roachie for Best News Story, he depicted the son in one of television's most iconic crime families, The Sopranos. He also has a wonderful podcast with Jamie Lynn Sigler and Kasim G. Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Eiler, the very first guest on the Josh Potter Show, by the way. Take it away, Rob.
Oh, thank you, Josh. It is a true honor to be presenting at this year's Roachies. Without further ado, the award for Best News Story goes to the Los Gatos Moms Sex Parties.
It doesn't say she was fucking the kids. So she didn't go that far. She's like, I'm not a pedophile. I just let them fuck in my home. They all had condoms and I gave them alcohol. She was the only adult present. Do you think she would check in and be like, just seeing if Bob has his condom on. You kids have fun. I'm assuming there were 14-year-old chicks there for her 14-year-old son. Unless she's hiring hookers or something, that would make it really fun. Investigators say the teens drank to the point of vomiting, being unable to stand, and even unconscious on multiple occasions, and she encouraged them to perform sex acts on each other, many of which were non-consensual. That's wild. So they were probably passed out and shit. She's like, hey, why don't you suck his dick? She's just standing there. This is like that horror movie, Ma. Did you ever see that movie, Kirsten?
I don't know if I'm thinking of the same one you're thinking of.
Google it real quick. I forget who's in it. It's like the woman who was in the astronaut, the Black Astronauts movie. What was that movie? What's her fucking name? Is that now. Viola? What's her fucking name? She's like
it's Octavia Spencer.
Octavia Spencer, my bad. So she's like a world-renowned actress, in tremendous, serious, thespian type films. And she's in this movie, Ma. And in this movie, it's like this. It's like a middle-aged woman who's letting teenagers party at her house, and they do whatever they want. They're drinking, they're having parties. She has these epic parties. And, I'll just spoil the fucking movie. I don't give a shit. Turns out that she wants to get revenge on a guy from when she was in high school. So she does fucked up shit to fuck with his son, and at one point she makes out with him, and it's this is a high school kid and shit. It's so weird. It's all such a bizarre, it's kind of a shitty movie too, and she plays it's like a horror movie / thriller. I don't know, go check. It's kind of fun at the same time. There's chicks making out and stuff. I found joy in it, but nevertheless, this woman sounds like a white trash version of Ma. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. She allegedly contacted the teens on Snapchat, warning them never to tell their parents. One 14-year-old, whom she suspected of breaking this rule, she spread rumors about this person and encouraged other teens to do the same, to the point the child suffered a mental and emotional breakdown. Via Snapchat or text, she would tell the teens to sneak out of their house at night or early in the mornings without their parents' knowledge or consent, pick them up on the street, and drive them to her home. Wild. So what if her kid didn't even want these parties? Mom, it's Wednesday. I got homework. And she's like, we're having another sex party. Get that fucking teen dick ready. Hurry up. Mom, I don't want to. She's like, we gotta mentally break down your stupid friend who tattled too.
She's on Snapchat talking to all of them. Mom, can you stop texting my friends on Snapchat? Per the statement, the parties began in the summer of 2020 at her home. One teenage girl, who was the only sober person in the house, recalled being left in charge of a 14-year-old boy who was passed out in the bathroom, covered in his own vomit. The girl asked if she should call 911, but was told no. Obviously, don't be a fucking narc. Shut up, just watch him. Make sure he doesn't puke on his own make sure he doesn't choke on his own vomit. She said O'Connor then rushed them all out of the house after discovering her husband was almost home. Oh my Lord, imagine being that husband who's like, honey, I'm home. Has no idea a party was up there. Why is the house trash? There's vomit on everything. Oh, the cat again? Jeez Louise, let's take it to the vet. Stupid husband, just some oaf. Or he just doesn't care. He comes home and he's like, ugh, whatever. Just don't talk to me. On the weekend of October 2nd, 2020, it is claimed that O'Connor rented out a cottage for her son's 15th birthday. So she was doing this shit during fucking COVID. Look at her. She ordered 2 large deliveries of alcohol. Once again, she was the only adult present amongst dozen minors, many of whom could be seen on external cameras urinating, stumbling around, and throwing up all over the back patio. That's the tough part. When you start taking the parties to other residences, now this is on an Airbnb. You don't think they have cameras on Airbnb? God, stupid dumb lady.
The Roachies will be right back after these words from our sponsors. The Roachies are brought to us by DoorDash. Sometimes when I'm sitting at home, I'm like, what do I want to eat tonight? You ever have that feeling? What do I want to eat tonight? And it could vary. Sometimes you want a home-cooked meal, and so, yeah, that involves groceries. But you don't want to go to the grocery store. DoorDash can go get the groceries for you, and you can still have a home-cooked meal. If you're like me, home-cooked meal doesn't really cross your mind very often. Sometimes you want something out there. I don't know how to cook Thai food, but I can go to DoorDash and I can find just a litany of options, and I can get whatever kind of Thai food I want. I don't know how to do, Korean barbecue, but guess what? DoorDash can find me some of that, but they can also, like I said, find groceries. They can help stop by the liquor store for you and pick up something there. They could pick up some things at the convenience store. Perhaps you don't want to go buy razors. I get it. DoorDash will help you out, and I'm going to help you out right now for a limited time. My listeners can get 25% off and 0 delivery fees, by the way, on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code JOSH. That's $25 off, up to $10 value, and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app right in the old app store. Enter code JOSH. Don't forget code JOSH for 25% off your first order with DoorDash. Subject to change. Terms apply. The Roachies also brought to us by StitchFix. Now, I love StitchFix. It's like so much fun to be able to just go like boop, 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 and then pick things out and it comes to you. And then they also go like, hey, you like that? You might like this too. It's like Netflix for clothes. It's unbelievable. Online shopping oftentimes can be daunting because you don't know what kind of size you're talking. Everything's got a different. This size might not be the same in this person's clothes, and this clothes might not have the same size with this person's clothes. But StitchFix, they find your size, they hook it up for you, and then they can really cater to you, basically, in terms of size and style. It's pretty unbelievable, as a matter of fact. StitchFix Freestyle now actually helps you, and they got like trusted style destinations where you can discover and instantly buy curated items based on your style, things you like and your lifestyle. So they put you in a little phylum. It's wonderful. Whether you're looking for a brand that you love, or if you want to try a new one, a StitchFix Freestyle, you can shop over 1,000 brands and styles personalized to your size and to your fit. Isn't that wonderful? Get started today, my friend. Go fill out your style quiz at stitchfix.com/Josh. I found that to be, I was like, oh no, I have to take a quiz about my style. It is so easy. And then the answers, it's unbelievable, the answers, how correct they are. I'm like, that is my style. Look at that. So again, just get started today. Go fill out your style quiz. StitchFix.com/Josh. That's StitchFix.com/Josh to try StitchFix Freestyle. StitchFix.com/Josh. And now back to the Roachies. Every single week, I am so impressed when I go inside the inbox of joshpottershow@gmail.com and I find intro music sent to me. It's from such talented musicians. I'm grateful and I am impressed, and I can't wait to see what the new year has. There are going to be some folks who perhaps next year on the Roachies will be nominees because I've got a backlog, and there are some people yet to debut in 2022. But here in 2021, we had such wonderful nominees for Best Intro Music. Here are the nominees for the Roachie for Best Intro Music: Smokin' Roaches, Craftmatics, Griffin Parker, Richie Doing Dishes, Odd Track Numbers. Our presenter for this award, you've seen him as a guest right here on the Josh Potter Show. You know him from his podcast, Jeremiah Wonders. He's also on the podcast Scissor Bros, which is wonderful, and he has a special available on YouTube right now for free. Ladies and gentlemen, to present the award for Best Intro Music, here's Jeremiah Watkins.
Hi, I'm Jeremiah Watkins, and intro music is one of the most pivotal things to the success of any podcast. It can make you feel great about your day or make you want to rip your ears out. And now, the Roachie for Best Intro Music goes to Richie Doing Dishes with Wasn't Nuttin'. Congratulations, Richie Doing Dishes.
Thank you once again to every musician who has sent in a instrumental for the intro or a remix down the road. You're all so appreciated by me, and I hope you continue to do it in 2021. You're my favorites. joshpottershow@gmail.com if you want to get in participation for that in the coming year. Please to be sending things that way. Also, a coming award, Roach Reporter of the Year. You can send your reports to joshpottershow@gmail.com as well. But next up, we have quite a prestigious award because, as you might have noticed, there isn't oftentimes, this is just me here talking to you in the camera. Kirsten's here as well, but we don't have guests very often, but we do have them every now and again, and there has to be an award for Guest of the Year. So who will win the Roachie for Guest of the Year? Here are the nominees. Ryan Sickler.
Can I tell you this story?
Yes, please. No, please.
This is racism.
Yes, I love a good racism story.
Racism one right here. So this, I used to work with this Filipina girl, right? And this is when Chipotle had first come out. I didn't know what Chipotle was. And
you call it Chipotle?
No, we were all trying to figure out where to go for lunch one day. It was like a handful of us, and someone suggested Chipotle. I'm like, what's that? And she goes, the Filipina girl goes, it's like, she said this shit out loud in front of like 15 people.
I can't wait.
It's like Subway for Mexicans. She said it in the office setting out loud. And everybody looked at her like, wait, what? She's like, you know what I mean. I'm like, yeah, I know what the fuck you mean.
It's like Subway for Mexicans.
Chase O'Donnell.
Unless somebody comes to me and tells me that these jizz hottists out there have a political angle or want to change something fundamentally, I will not grant them the title of terrorist. I'm not going to get... It's like when Obama would shit on ISIS. He wouldn't call them terrorists. He wouldn't call them terrorists or like something else. I forget what he wouldn't call them. But it was because he didn't want to give them that lofty title.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he would be encouraging them. This way, he brought them down. He's like, that's just a bunch of ragtag losers in a Jeep, or something like that, or in the back of a truck. They're not terrorists.
Would it be a terrorist attack had he been switching out vaccines with Semen?
That's interesting.
Gotcha.
There you go. You just gave an example of what a semen terrorist could do. Wow, your mind.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
That was like the darkest thought I've ever heard you say.
Oh, really?
That's wonderful. I mean, look at you don't even know. You gave a perfect example of what could be a semen terrorist.
Tom Brenneman.
For you as well, like when you did your apology that has gone around the internet so much now at this point, I mean, you called the game and everyone saw that as like a moment of callousness, whereas I saw that as you breathing. You know what I'm saying? You saw the home run and you were so entrenched in what you were saying because you wanted it to be sincere and come from the heart that the game just happened and you kind of like inhaled us, so to speak.
Well, you know, it's one of those where, you know, you try to put yourself in, you know, I always say to my kids all the time, you know, before you have something to say about something, try to walk in another person's shoes on multiple things that all of a sudden it looks like this person is for sure did this or did that or whatever it might be. And before you really know, though, for sure, you might want to take 3 steps back, try and walk in their shoes and see it from maybe where they're coming from. And
Jeremiah Watkins.
The victim told police he spotted an attractive woman at the mall, but that he continued walking. So I guess he definitely took notice if he's bringing it up to the police. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All I did was one of these.
All I did was this. Damn! She thick! And then I kept walking down the mall, and then all of a sudden I hear gunshots, and I'm like, what is happening?
All I did was act like a cartoon coyote.
Right.
My eyes popped out of my head, and my tongue rolled out like a carpet.
You know, just your average Black Friday shopping.
Sarah Weinshank.
It's like a Rorschach test to draw a vagina, I do feel like, because then you're drawing the labia majorum. You know, it looks like more of a flower. It can be not. No one looks at it and goes, "That's a vagina." Do you know what I mean? People have to look at it and go, like, "Are we looking at a crater? Are we looking at just?"
But like, why don't we put in tits on stuff?
Well, we do that too.
I've seen truck nuts. Nothing turns me off more than a man with truck nuts.
Do not understand the mentality that goes into purchasing a truck nut. I have one day I'm going to do an investigative report on this program as to who's buying truck nuts and what type of person they are. I think that would be very interesting, and I'll go in with an open mind. Maybe you can convert me to buying a truck nut. If you have strong feelings pro truck nut, joshpottershow@gmail.com. Please send that in as well.
And here to present the Roachie for Guest of the Year is a gentleman who I hope is a guest in 2022. He has a comedy special coming out, so he did say he'd like to come on the program to promote it. He's also a gentleman who I've lost quite a bit of money for because he takes my gambling tips a little too often. You know him from Rescue Me. You know him from Top Gear. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Adam Ferrara.
Hi, I'm Adam Ferrara, and I want to thank Josh for asking me to present the Roachie for the Guest of the Year. I'm going to try and be professional because I'm upset with him. He talked me into taking the Bills over the Buccaneers. He's like, no, I know the Bills. They're going to kill Brady. You watch. They lost by a touchdown in overtime. But it's my fault. It's my fault for listening to Josh. Josh is just being Josh. It's my fault for listening to him and his bullshit. He's like, no, I know the Bills, man. Thurman Thomas is my dad. I know the Bills. It's my fault because I listened to him, this stupid son of a... And the Roachie for Guest of the Year goes to Tom Brennan.
And, you know, when I'm sitting there making that apology on the air, I am literally watching my career go down the drain right in front of your very eyes. But you're also trained for 34 years of doing Major League Baseball that the game is always first. Nothing's more important than what's going on in the game. And I've got all this stuff going around and swirling through my mind, and I know that I'm going to lose my job. And I'm doing the very, very best I can to piece together some semblance of an apology that people will know is sincere, because it was incredibly sincere. And, it bothered me for a long time, and it bothered my son a lot, who is 16 years old, that it's almost become a joke of, when and I'm not on Twitter, I'm not on social media, because I can be told by my wife what a jerk I am all the time. I don't need 10,000 other people telling me what a jerk I am. But, to make light of it, like, you know, the Castellanos home run. And I mean, I've heard it 1,000 times. And, you know, at the end of the day now, you know, nearly a year has gone by. I can laugh about it and think, well, you know, there's this charity here in town that I'm working with children at a children's home in northern Kentucky, right across the river from Cincinnati, that kids that have been thrown out of their homes for being gay or being transgender, and all of a sudden their parents just throw them out of the house, right? I mean, you know, it's unimaginable if you're a parent. And, you know, we're thinking about putting together a T-shirt with something like, you know, and Castellanos is homered, and trying to raise money for this children's home.
I think that would be fantastic, as a matter of fact.
Yeah,
and I know that you've done.
Idea, and it was great. But it really bothered me deeply because, I wasn't dying, and my wife wasn't dying, my kids weren't dying, our dogs weren't dying, my grandparents, you know, it was just so, it was a tough moment, and you're doing your very, very best. And really at the end of the day, you know, you just do the very, very best you can. And I've tried to do that since then, and we'll see what happens.
I can completely understand how, I mean, obviously it's personally attached to one of the darkest moments that you've experienced professionally, at least. And I can understand why it would be but owning it like that is something that you're going to find, I bet, to be very beneficial for you down the road.
You know, you have to own it. I mean, I'm the one that old adage about, you know, you made your bed, you got to sleep in it. I mean, I'm the one who used the word that I used. I mean, I did. And so whatever repercussions come from that, you know, you have to prove to your kids and your wife and your friends that, you know, hey, look, everybody and his brother's going to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes every single day of the week, multiple times for most of us. And, you know, what do? Do you get back up and try and go do something else? Or do you just stay down and walk around and woe is me and this sucks and that stinks and, you know, everything else is, you know, it doesn't do anybody any good. And it's been the best thing at the end of the day. You know, this year, in this calendar year, our daughter has graduated from high school this year, just about a month and a half ago. Our son is the goalie of our local high school lacrosse team, and they just won the state championship 2 weeks ago. And so I got to go to every single game. I got to go to every single graduation event, and all these parents who have had a kid graduate from high school, they know what that's turned into in this day and age. It used to be you had, you know, potato chips, and back in our day, the drinking age was 18. You'd have a keg of beer at your graduation. Now it's like, you know, lavish parties and everything. But it's been at the end of the day, it's been great.
I hear that, and I just, for what it's worth, I believe, and I believe my audience, through discussing, you know, back and forth, your apology came off sincere to everybody that I've spoken to of rational sense. And like I said, I don't believe you calling the game took away from that because of your training and because of it being so innate in you to do that sort of thing. And that's what I just wanted you to hear that, at least from us.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
The Roachies will be right back after these words from our sponsors. The Roachies brought to us by HelloFresh. The new year is upon us. We are in it now. What was your resolution? Maybe you don't even have a resolution, but it is a time to be reflective and maybe make some improvements on what you're eating, or perhaps maybe you want to save some money. Well, HelloFresh can kind of cover all the bases when it comes to most of the conventional resolutions, I'm finding. Not only does it help you save money at the grocery store, you're eating healthier, but also, I mean, if you're one of these environmental types who care about this sort of thing, you're not wasting food either, because it's all pre-portioned ingredients. It comes right to your door. You prepare it at home. I mean, it's even 72% cheaper than a restaurant meal of the same quality. Isn't that unbelievable? So you're saving money right there. And, my friend, it is good for you. So go check it out right now. I like just pointing at things and ordering it. I don't like to have to go to the grocery store and figure out the ingredients. Guess what? I get a little thing from HelloFresh. Bam, all the ingredients right there. I don't go, oh, I forgot the chestnuts, the water chestnuts, or whatever the heck. You know what I'm saying? So right now, my friend, you can go to HelloFresh.com/JoshPotter. Excuse me, they've changed the number here. Oh, my Lord, this is an alert, my friends. We're getting an even better deal here. Go to HelloFresh.com/JoshPotter16. Use code JoshPotter16 for up to 16 free meals, and 3 free gifts. That's HelloFresh.com/JoshPotter16 and use code JoshPotter16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts, my friend. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. And now, back to the Roachies. Well, my little roaches and roachettes out there, it has the time has come. It is time now for the final award of the program, perhaps the most prestigious award of the program, though, and that is awarded to the Roach Reporter of the Year, and that is the John Otto Award. The John Otto Award awarded to the Roach Reporter of the Year. Now, you're all nominated if you submit at joshpottershow@gmail.com. If you've ever sent in an article, you're in the running for this. And I hope you continue to do that in 2022. And I have a person who is going to be our very first guest in 2022 to present this award. She also, if I could give an award for this, I would. I should have given an award for this, frankly. But Best Queef of the Week nominee, person who submitted a queef, Molly Stewart. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is now to present the John Otto Award for Roach Reporter of the Year.
Shaving, getting shaved for the award show. That's not in person. I was supposed to shave for this, right? No? No? Oh. The Roachie for Best Roach Reporter goes to Jefferson Nally. Congratulations.
Jefferson Nally had a lot of anus stories that he sent in to me this week. So I thought, because he's so good with the butt stories, that we're going to do it. So we're shifting, you see, here in the news from semen to the ass. Just the important stuff here on the Josh Potter Show. He's got a pair of anus-related stories. Let's find out the first one here. A man has whole fish stuck in a rectum after sitting on it by accident. A man who had to get a fish surgically removed from his rectum reportedly told a nurse that he accidentally sat on the animal. Well, I know if I'm just, going to take a little seat on a park bench, sometimes I sit down and, oh boy, a fish goes up my ass. I mean, how tiny was the fish? How big is his asshole? What the fuck's going on here? Let's find out. The unnamed 30-year-old man was treated in the accident and emergency department at Zhaoqing First People's Hospital in China's southern province of Guangdong on June 3rd. I know what's going on already. This is what happens when we have animal mysteriously got into my ass. This is what's going on every time. It is usually in a repressed country. China, you can't probably play with your ass as much as you can over here in the good old United States of America. That's what's great about, our troops. They're fighting for us overseas all the time to keep our freedoms. It's so you could put stuff in your ass, folks, and people are not going to ask you any questions. When you go over to these other places like China and the Middle East and things, you get caught putting shit in your ass, guess what? You're dead in some capacity. So what I think is this man wanted to know what it was like to have his ass filled up so that he could feel what it's like to come properly for the first time in his shackled life. And so he put the fish up his ass because he thought that looks slimy and cool. I think I'm going to try that on for size. And then when it got stuck up there, he had to get surgery. And people are like, how the hell? What are you doing? You putting fish in your ass so you could come? And he's like, no, not me. And then he just, I sat down and the fish went in there. Let's see more of what his sort of explanation is. A chat transcript has circulated on China's social media service, Weibo, which is like, state-run Facebook or whatever. It states that the healthcare worker responded saying, do you think I'm an idiot? So here we go, because he said he accidentally sat on the fish when it then entered his body via his anus. Hilarious. The people were like, okay, bro. The man had to have an emergency endoscopy. The images showed the skeleton of the fish, which was a Mozambique tilapia, if you're interested. Tilapia. Order that on the menu tonight. You can imagine it being in this Chinaman's rectum. Is that a racist saying Chinaman? I can't remember. He is a China man, so I don't know. If it is, cancel me. I don't give a shit. The report also stated that medics tried repeatedly to get the dead fish out, but it was too large, and it had the spiny fins. It also caused the patient's large intestine to rupture, which meant surgeons were forced to open his abdomen up. Good God. Imagine, you're eating a fish and you get the bones, you swallow the bones, and you're like, oh no, it's poking your esophagus. You have to be very careful not to swallow those little bones. Now imagine you put those little bones up your ass. It's sort of the reverse problem. You're having a problem coming out as opposed to going down. Either way, you're stabbing the tubes in there. You know what I'm saying? The report also stated that the medics repeatedly tried to get the dead fish out, but it was too large. The spiny fins, yes, we know. The fish was eventually retrieved from the man's bowels. To make matters even more disgusting, medics were reportedly gagging at the smell in the operating theater. Well, yeah, it's a fish mixed with shit. The worst two things. It's not going to smell like fucking roses. There you have it, folks. Thank you to all my little roaches for coming out to the very first annual Roachie Awards. I have to say thank you to Kirsten for putting it all together, for curating and producing this whole thing. I want to thank my presenters, of course, Ryan Sickler, Rob Eiler, Molly Stewart, Adam Ferreira, Jeremiah Watkins, all of you. Thank you for presenting the awards. Thank you to Grass Kingdoms for providing our beautiful, regal soundtrack for this prestigious award show. Thank you so much, Grass Kingdoms. You are the man. Nominated for an award even, but still coming through with the music. Congratulations to all of the winners, and thank you once again to you for watching all year long, and I hope you stick with us in 2022. Got lots of fun stuff coming. The Patreon is on its way. Of course, I hope I see you live. January 23rd, Milwaukee Improv. The 30th of January, West Nyack Levity Live. The 2nd of February, going to be at the Pittsburgh Improv, and then the 3rd of February, the Raleigh Improv at Josh_Potters, where you can get in touch on Instagram or on Twitter at J_Potter. Thank you for subscribing all year long. If you haven't yet, please make my new year wonderful. Subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Hit the little bell, or you can subscribe wherever you happen to be listening. And we will see you next Tuesday right here on The Josh Potter Show.